right, lovely.
So Radio Winchcombe, it wouldn't be a 10-year anniversary show without bringing one of my favourite ever guests back on the show. And everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Only Fools and Horses, and it wouldn't be the same without Marlene. So let's say hello to Sue Holderness. Hello.
Good morning, Lewis. Congratulations, 10 years. What an achievement. Well done.
Thank you very much. I was just saying to you off air, last time you spoke to me, my voice was considerably higher. So much so that I can't even listen back to our original interview because I'm embarrassed by my voice.
You were very sweet, and you still sound divine. So it's a big celebration, isn't it? 10 years. Do you think you'll get as far as 20? You going to carry on?
Oh, definitely. It's so much fun. It really, really is. But we've got to actually talk about. So not only I'm a massive Only Fools and Horses fan, and we've spoken a couple of times in the past about Marlene. But you recently you had a convention in Hull. Is that correct? Where you got to meet the Only Fools and Horses fans?
Yes, we do that every year. And John Chalice, who plays Boise, and I usually turn up. I've missed 2, I think, because of work commitments. And it's lovely. It's a very nice occasion. You find that there are an awful lot of people who still find the show extremely funny, and it makes a difference in their lives. And the sort of most rewarding thing, I think, is how many young people come. Of course, these poor benighted souls have been forced to watch it by their manic parents. But a lot of young people really do love it. And it's nice because I think, you hear that there's a lot of mental stress around. People are all very troubled souls at the moment, aren't they? And it does seem that Only Fools and Horses is keeping people out of GP surgeries because they watch it and they have a laugh and they say laughter is the best medicine, don't they?
I'll tell you what I love the most about Only Fools and Horses is when you watch a lot of comedy shows nowadays, that there might be say if it's a half-hour episode, for instance, there might be one thing that's really funny, but with Only Fools and Horses, every 3 or 4 minutes there's something else that just makes you absolutely laugh, and it's credit to John Sullivan really and the writing, but I also think the actors, the way they you all played your parts, there's a lot of kind of ad-libbing you can see. David Jason, he was always eating something, wasn't he? He was quite a method actor.
Yeah, he was very good at all the visual comedy, wasn't he, David? And any chance to have a sort of eating joke where everything went wrong he'd grab. He came, all of us came from theatre, and David was it was excellent farceur. He understood physical humour, and so he added that to the scripts. But the scripts didn't need much adding to, did they? I think John Sullivan was the genius comedy writer because he wrote for every age group, grannies, children, every age. Whereas now a lot of comedies, they're aimed either at kids or 30-year-olds or the elderly. He could do everything, appeal to everybody, and that's why I think they've gone on. Thank you, God, for letting me be in it.
I was going to say, you must get asked this all the time, but do you have a favourite episode of Only Fools and Horses? Something that stands out for you as just the most memorable moment?
Well, honestly, it's a bit boring to say it, but my very favourite episode was my first one because at that stage in the game, in 1984, I was actually 3 months pregnant with my first child, and I was cast always as rather posh birds, sort of Prime Minister's PAs and Joanna Barrington Smythe type people. So suddenly when this landed through the door, I didn't have to audition, I didn't have to meet anybody, they just said, "You want to play it?" And as soon as I read the script, I knew her. And then because my little bit on the first episode was all filmed, I drove to Harrow-on-the-Hill, which of course was supposed to be Peckham, and I met up with John and David and Nicholas, the 3 characters that were in the scene with me, and I didn't know any of them before. And the scene just was fun to do because you knew it was funny, and I just loved playing her. And at the time I thought, this is a great day out, what a fun day it was. And I was really sad that it was only going to be one day because I loved her. And 2 weeks later, of course, John Sullivan rang me up and said he loved her too. So thank God the character that was supposed to be indoors and just appear for that one little scene lives on in my life to this day, which is a great joy.
And obviously, Boise and Marlene, one of the best TV comedy partnerships of all time. But I also loved you and David, obviously Del Boy. The fact that he'd walk in a room, he'd see Marlene, give her a squeeze. Boise stood right opposite him, and that was just such a funny moment. Boise's face suddenly dropping when Del Boy.
I know, it's lovely, isn't it? And all that stuff when Del was pinching my bottom. I mean, but people would frown on that terribly now, but Marlene clearly enjoyed it, and Del did it partly because he was winding up Boise, which he loved doing always. And I just thought there was nothing but good, innocent fun in all of that. So it's a pity, really, nowadays that you wouldn't be allowed to get away with having your bottom pinched without being accused of sexual harassment.
Well,
Marlene liked it.
I was going to say, was it Boise you said to Dalboy? I noticed you approached my wife and greeted her warmly by the arris. It was one of the lines.
Yeah, well, there was no hiding that Del and Marlene had a very, very romantic relationship in their time. Didn't last very long, but they were engaged for about 3 minutes. So every time they met, there was a familiarity that was just bred from great, they just adored each other. But, only as cheeky friends, which was fun. And in fact, it's going off Only Fools. But I last year, well, actually this year and next year, it's great fun for me to be back with David because it's been a long time since we worked together. And suddenly I've been put a tiny part into Still Open All Hours. And it's just re-meeting him. And he said, isn't it lovely? But it's just so easy. We've worked together for such a long time that working together is just easy and fun. And I'm thrilled that they're going to bring me back into Still Open All Hours next year. So I'll get to work with David again.
And is there going to be a Christmas special for Still Open All
There
Hours?
There is a Christmas special, which was the first episode that they made before my character, Mrs. Rossi, turned up. So I'm hoping that they'll decide that if there's a Christmas special next year, Mrs. Rossi might appear. Anyway, so Roy Clark has already said that he's going to write her into the next series. So, at the moment, I'm going to be 70 next year, and I've decided I am probably the luckiest actress in the business because I will be in the middle of doing Still Open All Hours with David when I have my 70th birthday. I'll have just done 2 nice cruises to Bermuda and the Bahamas because I'm a guest speaker with P&O. And I'll have finished pantomime in Mansfield, and I love doing pantomime. So there isn't an actress out there who's happy or luckier than me, I don't think.
I've got to add, you look absolutely incredible. I had no idea you were approaching 70. You look amazing.
Oh, well,
really
thank you very much. I used to think that one should hide one's age, but I'm really quite proud of the fact that I'm about to be 70. That's our allotted span. So anything after that's a bonus, which is great. No, I hated being 40 and 50, but loved 60. And I'm going to like 70 even more, I think.
Well, I can't wait to see you back on our screens working on Still Open All Hours. You have the best comedy timing. And like I spoke to you, the Green Grass as well is one of my favourite series because we got to see more of Boise and Marlene. And I really wish they would bring that back because I think there's room for a new series of the Green Grass.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. Of course, that wasn't all written by John. Some of it was written by John's son, Jim. And the BBC did say they wanted Series 5, and then suddenly they realised it was all too expensive. All the cutbacks were happening. Because, of course, if you've got green grass in the title, you've got to go and do a bit of filming around some grass. So it was quite expensive to make. But it would be lovely to do it again. We're all still around. It's difficult to bring Only Fools back because so many of the cast have disappeared. Well, they died, let's be honest, including the dogs. So we've always hoped that it would come back. I think it won't now, but it was a great thrill when John Sullivan decided to give us that spin-off series because Marlene appeared very little actually in Only Fools and Horses, and suddenly to have 32 episodes where Marlene was a strongly featured character, and you could sort of explore the relationship between Boise and Marlene a bit more, which was much tenderer than you'd expect. And so it was a great joy and a lovely thing to happen at that stage of my career.
I absolutely loved Elgin Sparrowhawk in the Green Grass.
I know. David Ross, isn't he wonderful?
He was just
he's
brilliant.
Such a good actor. And because he's got no teeth, he's got a selection of false teeth. He's got the farmer's teeth, the old man teeth, young man teeth, the brilliant white teeth. So he can really play anything. And it was a good feature when he turned up at the party and these great white flashing teeth in this awful old mouth. No, I think he's a jolly good actor, David Ross. Proper good classical actor and with excellent comic timing. I love him.
Well, Sue, I've got to say thank you so much for coming back on the show for my 10-year anniversary. It's been
well, I feel I'm very honoured to be part of this illustrious lineup for your big tent.
We've got a very good line, and it's all my kind of favourite guests that have been on the show before, so thank you for giving us the time. I'm looking forward to seeing you back in Still Open All Hours, working with the legendary Sir David Jason.
Thank you very much, Lewis, and jolly good luck with the next 10 years.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Speak to you soon. Lots
Thank
of love.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you.